Good morning. My name is John Galvin. On May 8th, 1969, I was born in Nyack, New York, and I was given up for adoption at birth. I'm on a search to find my birth family, especially the missing siblings I've never known. This is part of that journey. So I woke up this morning and I noticed that I had a message from Ancestry.com. Now, if you've been watching the series and you remember, I said a couple of times, even just yesterday, that there's a few connections. One of them is a cousin, but it lists that she's engaged to get married, and I don't want to bother her with something that, something big like this just before the poor woman's wedding. I don't think that's fair. As far as, I got a lot of hits on Ancestry DNA, like 3,000 hits, but almost all of them are listed as distant relatives, which is cool. And I hate to sound like, well, I know beggars can't be choosers, but it's not, I don't feel that a distant relative is necessarily going to give me the answers I'm looking for. Although it is really cool to know that I have at least 3,000 genetic matches, possibly. That's amazing. So I woke up this morning. There was a message from a woman, Natalie. Actually, I got notes right here. I never take notes to do notes for this. I do tons of notes for my other YouTube, but not for this. But I wanted to make sure I got everything right. So a distant relative. Natalie Senard, I believe is the pronunciation of it, Senard, Senard. And she wrote, "Hello, John. You are my new cousin. Do you know where John Patrick Galvin born? Ireland? I am French, but have 18% of DNA from Northwest Europe, Ireland, Scotland. Regards, Natalie." You are my new cousin. I understand it's a distant relative. There's no close connection to my immediate biological family. But this is literally the very first contact I have ever had with blood family. Regardless of the distance of that relative, this Natalie is the very first relative of mine I have ever heard from. And it's beautiful. I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because it's so beautiful. You don't know what it's like to spend 50 years of your life, and although you have a family, you've never once been in contact with or heard anything from a blood family, a relative. This is, for me, it's completely unprecedented. So I did write her back. I wasn't sure if I was going to write her back right away or talk to my search angel from Search Squad that's helping me, but I was too excited. I just couldn't wait. I couldn't. So, very simply, I wrote back to Natalie. I said that John Patrick Galvin was my adopted father, and that he was born here in New York City, though his parents were born in Ireland. His oldest sibling, my Uncle Tim, was born in Ireland. That was, I just left it at that. Left it at that. But it's the first time I've ever been contacted. I've had contact with a blood relative, and that totally threw me off. So that's the update for right now. I'll just wait and see what Natalie says back. Like I said, it's listed as distant relative, so I'm not expecting at all, nor would I expect anyone to expect in my situation that a distant relative would be able to help you with connections. But it has really put a fire under me to see about maybe writing a quick little letter to some of the other connections I have. So there was a little bit of a mistake. I said that that I had a potential first cousin, or maybe I'm the half uncle. Over 90%, I think it's like 96% match. But she's getting married, so I don't want to bother her right now. It didn't seem nice or fair. But there are, that was a second cousin. Listen, not first. I have a first cousin listed there, potential, and a bunch of other second cousins. Now, in my adopted family, I know my second cousins either to a very well degree, or I at least know them, know of them, know who they are, know their names, know how they're connected to me. So maybe if the best, it's like a sign from God or something, right over my right shoulder. Maybe it will be maybe I should just, right, keep it simple. Don't mention anything about the adoption. Just be like, hey, I see that we got a very strong match. My family's from upstate New York. I was just wondering if you have any family there, and just, leave it at that and see what happens. Now, my wife did point out something that I really hadn't thought about. I'm not saying I didn't know this, it's just that it wasn't on my mind. I didn't think about it. And she told me this morning, she said, John, most people are on this to find lost family members. Most people are on this to find answers in their family. So don't be afraid to reach out to them. And she's right. She's right. So maybe today at lunch, or when I get home from work, I'll reach out to a couple of the listed second cousins. And like I said, just put it like that, just say, hey, I see that we're allegedly, possibly lost cousins, relatives somehow. And I find that very interesting. My family is from upstate New York, the Putnam, Peekskill, Mohegan Lake area. You have family there. Just leave it at that. So I heard from my first relative today. And it's beautiful. If you're out there and you're looking, don't stop. Do what you can. Like I said, I totally had no desire whatsoever to do DNA testing for a lot of reasons. Some of them may be considered stupid by some people, conspiratory by others. The whole concept of somebody owning the rights to my DNA just really bothered the hell out of me, and it still bothers me. Now, this is the only way I can get answers. And if you're looking for answers and you're holding off that DNA, don't. I know exactly what you're thinking. I know every negative thing that's going through your mind about giving your DNA to one of these companies. But if you really want answers, I have to say, this is the only way I've started getting any. Thank you very much, everyone, for following me on this journey. It means a lot to me. Everyone that's reached out to me, everyone that's supported me in this, thank you. And if you're on your journey, good luck, good skill, and I hope you get your answers. I hope we all get our answers.